meeting is being recorded.
Welcome to an all-new So Bad It's Good pop culture roundup with my favorite, the one, the only, the writer extraordinaire, the host of So True with Sophie Ross, the predictor, the prognosticator of football teams going to the Super Bowl and the playoffs, Miss Sophie Ross. Welcome back to the show.
Hi. Who
day? Well, yeah, by the way, who day, Sophie?
I love the way you say it. You put like the emphasis. You're like, who day?
Wait, is this like who day?
I don't know actually like how you're supposed to say it, but I say who day. Okay,
Wait,
whatever.
Do you just pop into bathroom stalls and go, who day?
Actually, that's like a viral thing that's going around, is the fact that when you're like a Bengals fan at a Bengals bar, which is where we're going tonight, like when you're in the bathroom and it's like quiet in the bathroom, you're like, who day? And I'm like, yeah, I actually do that.
So if you guys are confused as I am because I don't follow the sports like Sophie does, is that Sophie's team is going to the Super Bowl today. The Super Bowl is, I know, I'm joking.
Don't jinx us.
Oh, now it's going to be my fault if something happens.
I know, but also it's going to be so embarrassing if, like, God forbid they lose. You'll know when you're listening to this if they won or lost, and like all of this like posturing I'm doing, and they just like lose in embarrassing fashion, which they won't.
By the way, Sophie, I checked Sophie's tweets right before I came on, and that's why I knew the who day thing. And Joe Burrow, you posted something. He was in these really horrible cutout jeans when he was younger.
There was a tweet. I don't even know how to describe them, but like it was like a trend for men in like the early 2010s to wear like acid wash, like jeans with different like, how do you describe it?
Shading, like different like shadings up the leg.
Shading, and then it has like a ribbed section. Like there are different
for her pleasure. Yeah.
Yeah, for her pleasure. But yeah, Joe Burrow, I don't even know how I found this picture of Joe Burrow like a while ago. Well, I was doing some like big time
investigative
stuff. It must have been on like his old defunct Facebook page or something.
So we haven't spoken in 2 weeks, and I will say it was a really crazy because when I got back, like I had just spoke with you, and then I even flipped on the Bengals game against the Buffalo Bills, because that was when Damar Hamlin got hit and like triggered a cardiac arrest, and it was really, I mean, I sent you and your boyfriend Damar Hamlin shirts with the "We Can Win" the charity shirts.
You did?
Yeah, it should be there. Like I sent you and your boyfriend. I did baggy for you, and then but I thought you would, I mean, because, I thought that was like still like really inspirational, and it's like charity and stuff like that too, you know?
Oh my God, thank you. I didn't get it yet. Okay. I checked the package.
Let me check shipping, but that doesn't mean you're a Buffalo Bills fan. That just means you're a sports fan, right?
Yeah, I'm a fan of humanity.
I'm sorry. I should have been forewarned.
It was definitely really scary. And I'm actually, the Bills game is on right now. I just have it on in the background because if the Bills win, then the Bengals, if they win, will go to the Bills. And if the Dolphins win, then it'll be a Bengals home game for the divisional round of the playoffs. So it like affects the Bengals. So I'm just like, it's wild card weekend. But anyway, that was really scary. He like,
it really was.
He died on the field, and then he ended up getting transported to the University of Cincinnati, which their medical center, which I know from being from Cincinnati, is literally one of the best like trauma response centers in the nation. So, it shouldn't have it's horrible that it happened, but for it to have happened at that stadium in particular may have been a blessing. Because I know there are some stadiums that, scarily enough, are really far from like trauma centers and hospitals and good hospitals. Like, I know.
Isn't it crazy? All of those things depend on where you're at. When all of those things play a factor. Like even that Jeremy Renner accident with the snowplow, it was like they said he crushed his whole torso and upper body. And and then he's like giving thumbs up in the hospital bed. I'm like, if you say crushed, I think your half of your body is just mangled, and he's already like fight. I'm like, what is going on? These people are like warriors. Damar Hamlin, my trainer said, because he's like he was a college football player, and we were talking about it, and he said I go, well, he's done, right? Like he's done with football. And he goes, no, man, he'll be back. He's like, these guys live to play, like he will be back. And I was like, that's insane. He goes, he's probably going to already start training for next season. No, not this year. No.
This year. He had a really speedy recovery, thank God. He had the doctor said it was like a faster than usual recovery, and for him to have, no neurological damage after being, without oxygen for as long as he was, it's like, oh my God, just a miracle and a blessing. If he wants to play again, good for him. If not, I think everyone would understand.
Oh God, yeah, that's what I just they're just kind of like warriors in a way of like the competitiveness. I find it fascinating. Okay, I know this isn't a sports show, you guys. I'm sure you're saying that in your head. So let me get to my sports. Sophie, so much stuff happened in the last 2 weeks that I haven't talked to you, but let's fast, because we texted briefly when Lisa got let go, and you were not aware of it yet because you were at like a karaoke.
It was like I was getting ready for karaoke. I think I was getting ready for like a night out with some of my new coworkers. And so I hadn't checked my phone. I was like doing my makeup, doing my hair, whatever. And when you texted me Lisa Vanderpump's tweet that said ding dong, and I was like, who's she talking about? Like, I was like, I don't know. And you're like, wait, you haven't heard Rinna out? And I was like, what? You haven't heard yet?
I'm truly at my most girl-like when I have dirt. I'm like, what? Because I figured you had already been on like Twitter, like bouncing around.
No, I just hadn't been on my phone for like the past, it had been like maybe 20 minutes.
Well, that shit's got to stop. That shit's got to stop, because I had already figured you were well in the discourse. But
usually
guys,
I am on my phone every second. The only time I won't be on my phone is when I'm doing my makeup. That's literally the only time
to go to karaoke. Yeah. Well, we've already know that Lisa Rinna was, it was a mutual decision, but I want to draw your attention to one of the most ridiculous articles Interview Magazine put out this weekend with Lisa Rinna. Did you read this or read excerpts from this?
I didn't read it, but I saw like
Sophie, it is so insane. Lisa Rinna, like the fact, and then, okay, so this is what pisses me off about Twitter discourse. You have people going, see guys, she said it was her decision to leave. And I'm like, you're going to take a known liar. You're going to take a known liar, have nobody valid, don't check that information at all. And then go, see? And I'm like, Lisa is a known liar. Like, I'm telling you, it was not even a mutual decision. She was given a choice and she chose to leave. But the other choice, it's so ridiculous. And Lisa is not handling it well. Like, she acts like she's all cool and shit in Interview Magazine, where she's like,
she's spiraling. She's
big
spiraling.
big time. And I think, she posted just an hour ago or two on her Instagram. She did one of those AI things that Facetune does. And the Facetune app texted me and go, yeah, this was us.
I'm obsessed with the person who runs the Facetune.
Dude, you got to have her on your podcast. I need
to. Oh my God. We were DMing recently.
She loves you.
Yeah, she listens to this. I'm pretty sure. I don't know.
No, 100%. She told me.
Her as the Facetune girl, I need to get to know the person behind the Facetune account.
There's two girls. Yeah.
It's two girls.
Yeah. It's two girls. They were on the show a couple months ago, or like a month and a half ago, and they'll be back because I want to do a bunch of different Facetune things and show them pictures and get there, because they're actually really positive about Facetune. They're like, look, it's more than just the face. Like, you can edit things out of the background. But Lisa, there's an AI feature,
you guys, I criticize people who Photoshop the size of their waist and Photoshop insane things, but I think it's perfectly okay I use Facetune just to if I look greasy in a photo, I'm like, okay, let's make me look a little less greasy and good. Even looking at myself right now, because I have a little ring light for once, because I just did my makeup. I'm like, I need to touch up my powder later, because when you're a little greasy, Facetune is great, even for the regular girlies. You don't have to be an influencer. But
I make fun of it so much. I do the Facetune Bureau of Investigations, and I love
Meredith Marks, or you could just be a normal person who just does the blur feature when you look a little oily in a photo.
Meredith Marks is AI at this point, but Lisa Rinna did this AI photo, you guys, or she put the generator, and it generated it looked like she was attacking Los Angeles, like a 50-foot Lisa Rinna, and she had 6 fingers. Her hair was like her eyes were cross-eyed, which is like when Harry slips her the old bolognese. And she was like saying hi to all my haters. And I'm like, she's only a week and a half into forced retirement, and she's not handling this well. Like, she's never going to leave, Sophie. You know that, right? She's never going away.
She's definitely spiraling. And didn't an article just come out like yesterday of Rinna being like, I left Housewives because I fucking hated it. And it's
that
like,
was the interview magazine. That was the, I'm like, we hated you on it.
From the interview magazine.
You got
the headline. And I was like, who keeps interviewing her? No one cares. And then she shared some stupid Daily Beast article that was like, the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is going to regret firing Lisa Rinna. And she shared it. So it's like she was kind of co-signing the fact that she actually was fired when she shared that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
well, it's very Jax. It's very, but like Bravo, what I try to communicate to everybody is that Bravo and Andy, it's a very delicate balance. They don't trash anybody in the press like full, like they don't. Andy's not like F Lisa Rinna, da da da. No, because he has to keep it cool and keep it nice, because eventually she will be coming back on years later. She says she's done, but she'll come back.
Ryan, I'm going to stop you right there. Yeah. I'm going to stop you right there because I know that you can try to deny it now, but you originally were of the belief that Lisa Rinna was not going anywhere, that they would never fire her. And I called it. I said, they are going to fire her. I just know, I have no inside sources. I have no definitive proof, but I've been saying for months that they would end up firing her. And you were like, but I
even heard that at Bravo come from somebody high up that she was getting fired, and I still didn't believe it. I was like, nah.
So you thinking for sure that she's going to be back?
No.
I'm going to call bullshit. She's not going to be back.
Oh, she'll be begging. Give it 3 years. She will be begging to come back. She will do a podcast. I have a feeling
they're not gonna want her back, is what I'm trying.
My prediction is Tamara's gonna like kill it on OC this season and take a leave of absence from Schwartz, the 2 T's in a pod, and then Rinna will get in there. Rinna will get in there and be like, it's me and Freddie. It's our podcast now. She will be there. I'm telling you, like, I feel it in my bones.
Okay. She's not Tamara though. I don't think that she is ever going to have the same.
No. I'm saying that I think that's her next move is she'll do a Housewife podcast.
But Tamara, the audience was ready for Tamara to come back. I don't think that Rinna is going to have the same goodwill from the audience because she has been so toxic on another level. Tamara wasn't like toxic in the way that Rinna was, unless I'm misremembering. I think that Tamara was mainly just becoming more manufactured and just wasn't fun to watch anymore. And just, it had become kind of like, I don't know, how would you describe Tamara before she was fired from the show originally?
I mean, there was very similar, a couple similarities with Rinna in the terms of it just got grating. And sometimes when you do kind of housewives play where you're purposely trying to make things happen, it becomes more and more obvious to the audience, and it's not natural anymore. Exactly. So it's like, I'm the pot stirrer, and then they proudly take on that moniker when it's like, just be a pot stirrer. Don't like proudly announce you're a pot stirrer. Like, and Rinna, even in that interview magazine article, like, I worked so hard. I really went to work every day. I really stirred. So she's actually acting like her normal personality was put on because she was working for that paycheck. And I'm like, no, that's your natural personality. That's who you are. Like, I truly believe that's how Rinna is. And I've gotten confirmation from various people, even cast members. So stop.
But that's why I don't think she's going to come back. We can bet on that.
There's some bad
bets right now. Our one open bet right now is Craig and Paige. I think they're going to break up. You think they're going to get engaged?
Excited. I saved this for you as particular. We got Summer House and Vanderpump trailers. Yes. And I said on Friday that I needed to talk to you about this. What did you think, your first thoughts watching the Summer House trailer?
My first thoughts watching the Summer House trailer is that I'm excited to see what goes down between Danielle and Lindsay. So that's something I'm interested in. I really don't care about anything else. And I really feel like it's become very dark to watch. Like, I'm not excited.
Really sad.
It's sad. Like, I'm not excited to watch, and not saying that Lindsay is perfect, but like, another gang up on Lindsay, when you see the other girls flocking to Danielle, when her and Lindsay clearly have a
Well,
falling out in the trail.
Paige looks like she's got a girl boner. She's like,
Right.
yeah.
So I'm not excited to watch Paige. I don't care about Paige and Craig's relationship. I've already seen Southern Charm, Winter House. I do not care. I don't care. And then, so that Amanda and Kyle, I'm sorry, we've seen it all at this point. We have seen it all. I am ready for them. It looks like maybe there's fertility issues, which is really sad. But like, again, it's like, is that entertaining television? Like, is that something that we?
Well, let me read you this quote from Queens of Bravo. Picked out this Amanda Batula quote. It says, as for their future on Summer House, Amanda and Kyle shared their thoughts after 7 seasons on the show. It'll depend on where the show goes. If it stays true to its roots and it's about people partying in the Hamptons, I'm out. I can't do that for the rest of my life, Amanda admitted. If it evolves and it becomes more about like couples and it's following everyone's lives because we have so many more relationships on the show now, then yeah, we could stick it out. And I'm like, nope, bye, Amanda. Bye.
Bye. Okay, well,
and I like Amanda, but bye.
Okay, I'll go with option A.
Yeah, I want to see people
I'm
party.
sorry, you guys are not that interesting. You're not interesting enough. I don't even care that much. I'm sorry. As much as I love Lindsay and Carl,
after seeing them on Winter House, I'm kind of like, go live your happy life sober.
Yeah, they're sober, happy, settled down. Not great TV. Like, nothing about it got me really excited, which is like, it used to be one of my favorite shows on Bravo. So I'm like, are they ready for like a shakeup maybe? Like, even like the Corey
But Luke's gone.
What? Luke's gone.
I said Luke's gone. Yeah.
Luke's gone. The ratio is like 9 girls to 3 guys.
That Corey's going to get in trouble.
Yeah, Corey's not full time, but apparently he comes back. Where is Jessica? Because I know that we talk shit about Crypto Lindsay on Winter House, but she was great TV.
Well, like, Jessica has a boyfriend now. I see them on TikTok making TikToks all the time.
Oh, I don't look at her TikTok, but maybe I need to. But if that sounded so judgmental, I don't look at Crypto Lindsay.
Now it makes it seem like I'm looking. No, it just pops up in my thing.
I'm behind on Southern hospitality, but I will say
I love it, dude. I love it.
There is something very, very endearing that they've been able to capture, which is like, it's not on the same level as early Vanderpump, but when you have like shameless, like horrible human beings, like that is good TV. I'm sorry, it is. And they're shameless. I mean, obviously there is probably part of them that cares about, you know, the social media fame, but it's like, I don't want to watch an influencer. I don't want to watch Paige be an influencer. Like, I want like a shameless, like really out of control, doesn't have a filter.
Well, Sophie, I've got it. I see what Southern Hospitality has shades of Vanderpump. And what I think is so great is that you're right, though, about the influencer thing. Each one of those cast members, they're still in the 12,000 follower range. 14. There's like, and it's kind of, and I know that sounds silly because they're like, that's a lot of people, but compared to other Bravo celebrities, it's like kind of nice. And so they're still like out there struggling. That Grace Lilly is like so camera ready to like create like drama. I don't know. It's hysterical in certain ways. Like, but you're right. It's not early Vanderpump, but there's shades there that I think could build on. You could build on.
I don't want to watch someone that already has like brand deals.
Exactly.
Like, I don't care. Paige's Amazon partnership. Paige for the past 4 seasons has made it. That's her storyline, is that I'm a fashion influencer. So I get paid to just take photos and outfits. And it's like, that's cool. That's not the type of person that I want to watch right now. I want to watch someone who doesn't give a fuck about brand partnerships. That is just a ratchet, chaotic, doesn't care whose feelings they hurt, doesn't care who they offend in the audience. And that's been hard to capture on Bravo in general in the age of social media, because now there's suddenly an awareness. Like when you think about 2007 Bravo, which is like the very early ages of Real Housewives, there was no audience feedback. There was no like people talking about Real Housewives on Twitter or Instagram or whatever it was. And now I feel like there's so much like awareness. I don't like people who are self-aware, basically.
Yeah. Well, but we saw it with Craig, especially last season. You know, Craig was like that he was paying so close attention to social media that it was like making him even more psychotic than he usually is.
But not on Winter House.
No, the Winter House, he was completely like,
On
whoa.
Winter House, he was like,
was
I'm first generation wealth. How dare you imply that I
because he had his shit blown. Like, we all filled his head full of, look at Craig do this major turnaround, Pillow King. And then he got in with that cockiness. But I will say, to your credit, you kind of like, I mean, if you watch the Summer House preview, there is like Paige going like, well, I don't want to get married this year. And like, and she starts tearing up in it. And I was like, shit, maybe Sophie fully is right. They're not going to wind up together.
You guys, I really, really, in my heart of hearts, believe that they won't end up together. And that's not me praying for someone's downfall. Much as I dislike any Bravo character or whoever it is, I will always root for someone to be happy. I've talked about this on my own podcast about how Paige has been very open about being depressed and stuff like that on Giggly Squad. Apparently, I don't listen, but I've read.
Yeah.
But so I am rooting for her happiness. And I don't think her long-term happiness, if I'm being perfectly honest, is going to be with Craig. If she is already questioning the relationship this much, if she's already crying about how much she doesn't want to be engaged to him, when this kind of still should be like the honeymoon phase of their relationship.
And Craig's already ready to settle down. Like, so Craig's ready and she's not.
If it happens, I don't think it's going to be Craig breaking up with her. I think it's going to be her breaking up with Craig, because I think that she knows deep down this is not the type of guy that she ultimately wants to end up with. I think right now it works because they get attention and they get double the exposure on double the Bravo shows. It works for their brands. But like long term, is Paige, that's the thing. It's like Paige is not a messy, ratchet person, which is why she's not amazing television in my eyes. I know that some people love her one-liners.
Yeah, she's good. She's good at talking heads.
She's not like, she's too self-aware. She's too self-aware and normal and smart, which is why she won't end up with Craig long-term and why she's not amazing television in my eyes. Like it is because she's a normal human being. I need like abnormal, like freaky, insane, drunk, like
that's what I'm saying. You guys got to pay it. Grace Lilly on Southern Hospitality. There is such promise there. If they give that another season. Yeah, you're right. I mean, you're right. Jessica really I would love to see Jessica on a second season just to see what she learned from Winter House. Like, she's like, okay, just totally close it. I'm just going to close my door. Nobody come in the bedroom at night. Like, I can't have this happen. What did you think about Kyle going after, that in a sec, but Kyle going after Carl about saying he doesn't even do that much at Loverboy? I thought that was like, I don't want to hear my parents fight. I don't want to hear that. Like, that bummed me out.
It's sad. But I was actually reading on the Summer House Reddit that someone saw that there was like an opening for director of sales or head of sales at Loverboy that maybe would insinuate that Carl is out. I don't know for sure, because it's like, okay, well, it could just be like a new, like senior level person that they want like to manage Carl. Who knows? At the end of the day, I think we've seen on previous seasons of Summer House that like Carl doesn't love like working.
Like, but that was drunk Carl. Like, I thought maybe he would work 4 times.
It's like, why would you have a day job when you could do brand deals on Instagram and be a reality TV star for like 75% less work and 75% more money probably. So it's like, and we saw Carl, like he never seemed like someone that was like so obsessed with his career and so obsessed with working. Like I think Kyle has always been, and that's not a knock on Carl at all. But like, why would he have a 9 to 5 if he doesn't have to? And I think if you're going to be director of sales for a very successful alcoholic beverage company, which again, he's sober. So like also that might be difficult for him, but it's like, I feel like that needs to be a full-time job for someone to be the director of sales for this brand.
Well, February 13th, we will find out. Now moving on to something we will find out about February 8th, Vanderpump Rules season 10 will be airing, and they had the trailer this past week. What were your thoughts on that?
Oh, they sucked me back in. I am totally 100% on board, excited, thrilled, horny for Vanderpump. Like, I'm so freaking excited.
Yeah, I will tell you, like, I just talked to the Sheena on her podcast last week, and she off mic was like, it's so good. It's like, she's like, and they didn't even have her a lot in the trailer, and she was still like loving it. She was like, she gets so like, it is really funny. Sheena's very Sheena. She's like, she's like, I can't wait. And I was like, this is wild. But we got to see, I mean, when you start the trailer off with Katie and Schwartz, talking about them being like a great divorced couple, it's going to go south from there. Like they started, I mean, it's so brutal.
I
And we
know.
see
They
that
were like,
immediately.
"Here's to us and our friendship." And then it's like the instrumental music. And then it shows Schwartz making out with Raquel and Katie being like, "You're a fucking piece of shit. Fuck you. I fucking hate you."
And he goes,
And I was
that
like,
doesn't
"Oh."
even mean anything to me. He goes, that doesn't even mean anything. I don't even feel that. And he's like drunk.
He always hated her. And now he's like allowed to hate, even when they were married. And now he's like allowed to hate her because they're no longer married. So yeah, I think that Schwartz is going to be the meanest that we have ever seen him be to anyone, to Katie, because deep down he has always hated her and it's been very obvious.
Well, that's the other thing. I'm kind of like, I mean, I'm just really curious how the edit goes. And it looks like from this trailer that they do give, like, I was hoping that Katie didn't get blamed for this completely. Like I was hoping that, and it seems like that is because Katie was the one that pulled the trigger. But I think that's because like she was forced to, I think Katie couldn't stay in this relationship because Schwartz would have stayed forever, I would imagine, because he didn't have the balls to do it.
Yeah, exactly. He was too lazy and like didn't have the balls to actually go through with divorce. And Katie, he essentially left Katie no choice, is probably what the situation was. Okay, my Bengals hat is getting hot. I was trying to wear my Bengals beanie, but it just got really hot and like itchy. So,
what else stood out to you in the trailer that you liked?
Oh, James has fallen off the wagon.
See, I knew that a while ago, and I always felt so weird about saying it, so I didn't.
Yeah,
but I'd seen,
like
because I thought
about someone's sobriety.
Yeah, like I thought they were gonna. I was thinking they were hiding it from. He was hiding it from production, but I'm so thankful that he put it out there, and hopefully he's okay. But also the relationship with the new girl seems like intense too. His new girlfriend. I'm like, that poor girl, man. Like,
and it seems like his issues with alcohol are already affecting that relationship. So we'll see what happens with that with his new girlfriend. I am interested to see like what goes down between Raquel and Schwartz. We obviously have Sheena's wedding, and I think it's so freaking funny that Jax, if you read my Substack, my most recent Substack, how Kristen, I guess, was very open on her podcast about how the cameras, being around the cameras at Sheena's wedding was like kind of triggering to like her and Jax, because that used to be their world and that used to be their life. And like now they have to watch all of their old, colleagues getting to be on camera still, and they're not allowed to be. And she said that Jax was so bitter and so mean to her at Sheena's wedding. Like he was like taking
I read
out on her because he clearly was very triggered and uncomfortable by the cameras. And she was very honest about that. I mean, she was like, yeah, like it was very uncomfortable to be around, which is good for you for being honest.
I keep meaning to listen to her podcast. Yeah.
In his comments, someone was like, so like, I forgot like what the question was. It was about being around the cameras at Sheena's wedding. And he was like, they asked us to be on and we politely declined. Is that what happened, Jax? Is that
well, it's kind of it's the Lisa Rinna of it all. It's like the Jax, like Jax was the first one to be like, I left, I wasn't fired. And even Lisa Vanderpump said he was fired. Like even Lisa, like they're
you know like what it is? It's the narcissist manifesto when they get kicked off Bravo, when they get fired. And I know that like I've gotten flack in the past for overusing the term narcissist, but I think that we can agree that Jax Taylor and Lisa Rinna are textbook narcissists in my eyes.
Yeah, like I think those are like
I don't think
top
that's like
of the
mountain. I don't think that's crossing a line or like diagnosing. I think it's just like that. And I think
I thought we all were on the same page with those.
Yeah,
like,
so I've been really consciously trying to call people narcissists less. But I think with like Jax Taylor, Lisa Rinna, Jen Shaw, it's like, I think we can agree here.
Yeah. No, I think we totally agree. I just think it's like, because Jax, like, if you just admitted your actual, like, I want to hear Jax's actual feelings of like, yeah, I'm pissed. I'm pissed I got fired. I'm pissed I don't have the money that the other fuckers do on this show. I'm pissed. I know. It just, I want to, but I want him to do that.
Narcissist, ego, and pride. And you can say whatever you want about Kristen Doty, but she clearly doesn't have that ego that's preventing her from being honest about her feelings.
Because
And
even
like, she doesn't have to
Stassi
be
pulled
upset.
away from them now too.
Oh my God. Don't even get me started on frickin' Stassi.
Did you read that thing about her the birthday party for
Comparing
their
herself to,
daughter?
no, but I read about her comparing herself to Meghan Markle.
Oh, I didn't see
Which
that.
may have been a joke. Which may have been a joke. I didn't listen to it. It was on her podcast apparently, and she could have like totally been joking about it. But it's like, you know, by now that your podcast, what you've said on your podcast has gotten you canceled so many times. Like, why she brought her podcast back? It's like, you're clearly not someone who like does well with a podcast. You're going to
Well,
be putting your foot in your mouth forever.
well, Sophie, it does. I mean, like, it does get huge downloads from what I hear. I don't live, but like, it's so
Straight up with
it.
Stassi. I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like, I know why she's doing it, but it's like it's going to keep happening in the sense that. But I was just hoping she wouldn't lean into it and keep like purposely
Right.
saying like things. But I was talking about Hartford's birthday. She had the two-year birthday party for Hartford, and she didn't tag two of the people that she got free stuff from the party. And those people, she tagged all of these others, and she didn't tag these two. And she said, and somebody in the comments said, "Why not tag this company and this company?" She said, "Because I wasn't happy with their work." And that company went on and made their own Instagram post and said, "Listen, I've been in business for decades and I really take this stuff seriously, whether you're famous or not. And I take real pride in my work from like consent." And she showed like the mood board they had made for the birthday, like, so I'm curious what the actual story is there of why Stassi didn't think it was good enough to post, but this lady stood up for
Wait, I
herself at this
didn't see
company.
any of this.
Oh
Where can I
yeah.
catch up on this drama?
Just put Stassi Hartford birthday party drama probably. But yeah, this was,
Okay.
it came up on my Instagram
Hartford,
feed.
Hartford,
Stassi
Hartford.
Hartford.
What a name. What a name for a baby.
I mean,
Hartford.
I mean,
Hartford.
it's a very preppy name, and she's going to go to an Ivy League school. And I mean, listen, I have no beef with Hartford, but I have a beef with
Hardy
somebody not
baby.
tagging.
You look just like mommy, baby. Hardy. Hardy.
Oh my God.
Hale
So
and Hardy.
yeah, so I mean, but it's funny when these people continually live reality show lives. Like that seems like drama right there that you could focus on a reality series. Like they never steer too far away from reality show drama, it seems like.
Wait, on what? What do you mean?
Like I'm just
On
saying that even that Stassi 2-year-old like fighting
oh,
with Oregon, like that's reality
right.
show drama to me.
Stassi, Kristen, Jax, love them or hate them, they were made for reality TV and they made Vanderpump Rules what it is today. They're the
Yeah,
founding fathers
1,000%.
of that genre of reality TV, aka starving, belligerent waiters. And yeah, so yeah,
Well, can
their
I just
lives
say
were
also,
always
like everybody says the Mount
crazy.
Rushmore of Bravo, like stop doing that unless you make the Mount Rushmore of Bravo. Like I'm tired of doing that
Yeah,
like bit. Like make the Mount Rushmore dope, but like and also Bethany Frankel is off the Mount Rushmore. She's done. She's done. I don't need to hear any
yeah,
more
she's
Bethany Frankel
over.
opinions.
She's over.
Moving on to Jen Shaw was sentenced last week, and we didn't really get to speak about it yet. She got 6.5 years, which I think was very a lot less than I thought she would. But the thing that I wanted to talk about is that she posted a picture to her Instagram this week, or like a couple days ago, where she was like full Diana Ross glam. She had a Beyonce like weave, like just flowing in some kind of wind machine, and it said dress rehearsal. And I thought that was fucking ridiculous after she had gotten charged to post with full makeup, full glam for in a supposed interview with Andy. Were you offended by that at all, or did you like that?
No, I was offended by it. There are so many things that have made me upset. And again, I feel like for some people, this, not that it hits close to home, but like it kind of does for those of us that maybe have a grandparent that has dementia or Alzheimer's, and they're the ones that get scammed by these people. Like it's really freaking awful. I don't need to hear her side. And I think it's actually crazy that she was only sentenced, because I know that we talked about this and I really thought they were going to throw the book at her and
Yeah.
like sentence her to like the maximum 10 years. And them only sentencing her to 6.5 was like very surprising to me.
Oh yeah, me too. Actually, I was really thinking 8, A lot of people were thinking 10. Like a lot of people were thinking the max just because of all she was the head of it. But the crazy thing too with the Jen stuff is the real crime on top of that actual crime is that she then to me, she had hijacked the show so much that the finale this week was one of the worst finales I've ever seen on Housewives. It was so bizarre and so, it was like they just gave up and they just like, it was just like pasting two scenes together. The first scene, it was like all lies. The choir never rehearsed. They sounded like shit. Heather Bay didn't write the book. We still don't know about the stupid eye, which I really just wish the eye never happened now. It was all ridiculous. And then to cut to Jen having to peddle more of her bullshit and go, Stuart threw me under the bus. It's all Stuart. I'm like, girl, you're going to have to tell the truth one day, you know?
Yeah, exactly. To see like the music started playing like halfway through the episode, the finale music, I was like, wait, what's happening? It's only 8:30. And I was like, well, they must have like really good Jen content for us.
No.
But it was really just Heather and Lisa like at lunch. And they were like, so do you think she did it?
And then like, Heather all of a sudden throws her ride or die under the bus and says, Coach must have known. I was like, Heather, you got to pick a side eventually. Heather? I mean, you can't do this.
Heather really had a fall from grace. And I guess with the eye thing, did we like have it confirmed that she actually hit her eye on like a faucet?
That's what I keep hearing, but also I don't necessarily believe the Demois blind about production made Heather take the fall. I just like usually doesn't like, unfortunately production doesn't like, they will suggest certain things, but they don't usually like they don't like blackmail you into it. So that's like kind of, that would be a different thing. So I don't necessarily believe that either, but also I'm past the point of caring now. Like Heather, you seem like you're a mess.
Yeah. Heather has had a fall from grace. And actually when we were talking about Meredith earlier, I was thinking to myself that Meredith brought nothing this season. And she was one of the people that people really stand after the first season. Like people were like really into her. I think even more than Lisa Barlow after the first season. I remember I was one of the people that like
100%.
But Lisa has become like the number one from Salt Lake City. Yeah. And Meredith like brings nothing. She could be out and no one would bat an eye. Even like her feud with Lisa brought nothing to the feud. What else? Heather, no one likes her after the black eye incident and you know how much of a
but they also don't like
being Jen Shah's like henchman. And Whitney, I don't care about, I'm sorry, nothing is going to make me care about watching Whitney. I'm sorry. I like
Whitney, but I totally appreciate your opinion. But I just think at this point, it's not even how we feel about it. How they feel about each other is non-existent. They all hate each other. Like there's no common ground. And this shows you what happens when you don't do solid casting from the start.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, it's kind of like, this is why I think Miami is so good this season, is because there's actual real relationships. And this, I kind of left watching that going, oh, well, do I even care if Salt Lake comes back? Like, do I even care? How do they do it? Because if you ride the Jen Shah wave, if she's still a part of the cast, I think that's ridiculous because you tie your boat to something that is sinking, or you tie your dinghy to something that's sinking, it's going to sink. And I don't want to see her like going into prison. I don't want them to start shooting and have Jen part of the cast. I'm done with Jen Shah's story.
I'm done with Jen Shah's story. I don't think she's going to even be back in any capacity. Like, I don't think it's going to even be a drop on the radar of the plot next season, if there is a next season. And then, it's like, what do we have then? And I actually really liked, I'm so mad they cut out the Dana and
the Dana scene, like, I'll put money on your books. And Dana actually said in the Instagram story that saying like, like I was actually like telling Jen like all of these things, and Jen like got back, like actually trying to be the voice of reason, and like it's crazy pants that got cut out.
I think her and Angie K actually have so much promise as cast members. So it's like all the rumors that none of the friend ofs are coming back, I think is kind of weird, because I'm like, if anyone could, if anyone showed potential, it's those two, I feel like.
It's kind of funny watching Angie H's husband cry because he couldn't
Oh my
apologize to Coach. I
God.
was like, oh, geez. He goes, Coach is like, okay, I accept your apology. Like, that was so embarrassing on a
I
whole
know
nother level.
it was so embarrassing. I would never be attracted to my husband ever again.
Tell your dude, you better never cry like this, ever.
Ever.
Okay, this just is to get you riled up as we start closing down shop here. Nick Vile, I don't know if you know him at all,
Oh,
Sophie.
he got
Uh,
engaged.
well, he got
Cool.
engaged to his child bride, but also what I found is interesting is that he did this interview where he threw shade at Chris. Well, Chris Harrison said on his podcast that Nick Vile, like, was, he was one of those guys that was after his job, which I totally believe. And Nick Vile said, I was really dismayed to hear Chris Hansen say that I was after his job. I was one of the people that actually reached out and said, I'm so sorry about what you're going through. And I'm like, dude, two things can be true at once. You were totally after his job, and you also reached out. People are like that.
That was so funny. I saw the clip from his podcast where they were like, yeah, they were saying that Nick was one of the people that smelled blood in the water.
Yes.
And Nick was like, oh, what did he say? He said that. And it's like, Nick, no one believes that you haven't been paying attention to this press cycle. Yes. And obviously you were one of the people that were gunning for the job.
And it's okay. It's okay to gun for somebody's job once they get fired. That's okay. Just admit it.
I cannot stand his ass. I hate that man. And I watched of him and Natalie DeJoy's.
Is that her name?
How her Instagram handles like Natalie DeJoy of his child bride. She's like 21 of their engagement, which by the way, this is like Nick's 4th time proposing like on video camera. And
he didn't get paid for this one though. Yeah.
Yeah. And he proposed with like some like video, like she walked in like not looking surprised at all. And like for whatever reason, like maybe she knew this was coming and she's just watching the video. It like starts playing on the screen and she's like has
was the video all of Nick?
And Nick is like, Natalie, I love you so much. I can't believe you get to be the mother of my you get to be the mother
I get to insert my seed into you, you lucky woman.
And you are so lucky. No, he literally that's like the gist of what he said, and he's like crying.
I didn't watch this video. I need to watch.
He probably took a bunch of takes of him. He's like sobbing, like his face is red, and he's tears like flowing out of his eyes. And then Natalie's like, and then Nick walks down the stairs, and then all of a sudden it's like a hype video of them like partying, and she has her like ring finger, and she's like, ah, and then they're like touching tongues. They're like, ah. And it's like, go watch it. Go watch it. Okay.
This seems more chilling than the Idaho murder thing. The guy coming into the courtroom, more chilling than that, because that just put the shock of a life into me. We also, I wanted to say, I love you wrote this, and I think it was about the Idaho murder case. Was you were talking about like re-traumatizing victims and stuff like that, because I noticed with the Idaho murder case, which I've been talking about a little bit, that we have like very little information because they put a gag order very wisely, the police, on anybody so they can keep this kind of case clean. So everybody's like they're taking like TMZ keeps releasing body camera footage of noise complaints of the deceased people of them, and I'm like, you just keep like, why are we, it's like the Britney video from this weekend, like the Britney video of like, yo, guys, yeah, Britney's not well. Yeah, but you videoing her at a restaurant is also not well. And this is the same shit that this is the same shit from 2008 all over again. And like, I'm sorry. Yeah, she is not well. We can all admit that. But this is also ridiculous. The fact that there's 30 people in that restaurant at night, like with their phones up recording her.
Yeah. Like, have we learned nothing? Have we learned nothing for Britney's Hilary? Like, leave her alone. Fuck you, TMZ. And I think, I don't know if I was saying this in regards to the Idaho murder, but I definitely was having a lot of conversations on Twitter, especially with Evan Peters like stans.
Oh yeah, okay, that's what it was about. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
You guys, he won the Golden Globe. He won the Golden Globe on Tuesday for best performance, and you guys know my feelings about that. I made it 2 episodes in. And I love like weird shit. I couldn't do it because I was like, it was so hyping up Dahmer. Like, I was like, this isn't for the victims. He said in his speech, Evan Peters, that hopefully this helps people. I'm like, how would it help? It's going to help serial killers think they'll get a Netflix series.
I was so exactly. And I was so frustrated because I was live tweeting the Golden Globes. I tweeted like a million things that night. And one of the tweets that ended up going like kind of viral, not on Twitter, but like it ended up on TikTok and it ended up on that account Impact that has like millions of followers on Instagram. So it like made its way to other platforms. And it was basically a tweet about how I was expecting Evan Peters to like say something about the victims.
Yeah.
Maybe being like, he said something along the lines of like, this was a really difficult show to make. It was a really difficult show to watch. He should have been like, it was especially difficult for the families of the victims. And I would love for everyone watching this to donate to TK, whatever he could have said that kind of like honored the victims in a way, instead of really just not saying anything and then making vague statements, vague posturing about how it was so difficult and I hope it did some good. And when I tweeted that I was kind of disappointed that he didn't say anything, especially because we know how much feedback and backlash there was from the families of the actual real life murder victims. So many of his fans were like, what do you want him to say? Like, thank you for getting murdered. And I'm like, obviously not. There's a way to say it in a respectful way and honor the families of the victims that are watching this and that are probably so frustrated about having to get re-traumatized by this show. And again, it's like, I love Evan Peters. I love Ryan Murphy. I've watched every American Horror Story season. I love true crime. Everyone knows that about me. I couldn't watch the show.
It was a bridge too far. And like, that's not even like, I come from an acting background and I get what it's like to want an acting challenge, but dude, like, you know, like I just, to me, I was like, it was, I don't know. It was just too much. And so I was aware of that speech too. And I remember him doing it, thinking it was going to be so much more. Also, what was your overall take on the Golden Globes? By the way, one of the last nights we saw Lisa Marie Presley alive and she did not look well. And like, I mean, I will say I was reading more and more about Lisa Marie Presley. I forgot she was married to Nicolas Cage. I remembered her being married to Michael Jackson, but like everybody kind of married her. Those two specific people married her because they had Elvis obsessions as well. Like Nicolas Cage had an Elvis obsession. Michael Jackson had like an Elvis obsession because King of Rock, King of Pop. But like, I just think what a weird life. And then her son, unfortunately, he took his life a couple of years ago. And I'm just saying, like, it very sad. I was reading so much about her over the weekend, but did you have any feelings about that?
Yeah, R.I.P. Lisa Marie Presley. She definitely had a difficult, fascinating life. And yeah, she looked very tired at the Golden Globe. So, and I'm sure it was very special to her to watch Austin Butler win and to see the Elvis movie get made. Austin Butler, sweetie, you are from Southern California. I'd like to say thank you very much.
Well, that's what I was like, because I was like,
the fans.
Is he in character around Lisa Marie and Priscilla Presley? Like, do they ask him to like be Elvis? Like, do they ask him like, talk to me like Elvis? Like, I just got to imagine it's so weird for them, especially Priscilla, to be around that kind of energy and to be like, oh my God, it's Elvis reincarnated. Like, cause he won't drop it. He doesn't drop the accent.
He wishes so badly. He wishes so badly that he actually was Elvis and actually, I mean, he might win the Oscar. I couldn't get through the movie because I find him so insufferable.
I thought the movie was great, but in this weird way. Like, I thought it was so bad that it's so bad it's good. I thought Tom Hanks was so ridiculous that I was like, oh my God. And Austin Butler, I thought like, what a big, like, that's a really scary performance to even attempt. Like, that to me is like better than Dahmer, because I was like, how do you even begin to play somebody so enigmatic and iconic? And I thought he did a really good job. It's just that now I think that he can't break out of it. He's filming the sequel to Dune. And I was like, is he play Elvis in Dune? Is that what's going to happen?
Yeah. Like, is he going to have that accent in Dune? Probably.
Yeah. The sand people are after us.
Has he been in anything else? Like, how
wasn't he in like Zoe 101 or something like that?
Right. Besides like the Disney shows, like, does he like know how to like act any other way besides being Elvis? Like, I don't know.
There should be some kind of service for young actors to help them break out of parts when they're method acting. Like they could, like, you know, there should be a service to help.
he's so disingenuous. I think it makes me really, really, really judge him because there's something so disingenuous, like dripping with just like, he's just like so fake with his fake accent. Like, I just can't stand him. I think
You have
he's
such strong. I didn't have this strong of feelings about him, but I will say, and I don't mean this to be.
He gives me a visceral reaction, clearly.
I don't mean to sound cold, but I want to ask your opinion about this. Do you think there's any way now, because always the Oscars are looking for a story, now with the unfortunate passing of Lisa Marie, I think there's a better shot than there was a week ago that he will not only be nominated, but he could potentially win now, because the Oscars are always trying to tell a story.
I don't think it's a question. Like, he's obviously going to get nominated. You're right. You're definitely right that it increases his chances, which I know this wasn't how it went, but what if, like, when he found out that she died, he was like,
that's all right, mama. That's all right with me.
That's all right to me.
Kaya Gerber's like, stop, Austin, stop. Yeah. Okay, and then finally,
I hate the fact that as soon as he got this role, he dumped Vanessa Hudgens, who got him the role. Like, and
yeah, Vanessa Hudgens, didn't she suggest him, or what was the deal?
In that Vanity Fair like round table, like with all the actors. Like, did you see that video?
No, I didn't.
He's like, so I had a friend who suggested actually that
I should friend.
My friend, and everyone knew it was Vanessa Hudgens. He was like, my friend was like, oh, you should get the rights and play that role in the movie. And now look at me. And like Colin Farrell and like all of the other like very like Adam Sandler, they're all like sitting at that round table and they're like, okay, whatever you say.
By the way, wait. I will say I am on a big Colin Farrell kick this year. I just watched Banshees of Inisherin, and it is so, guys, I've been talking about this for a week. It takes its time. It's slow. It might not be your thing, but I fucking love, I used to make fun of Colin Farrell all the time. And I got to tell you, between that, him playing the Penguin, and didn't he do the TV series that you like? The Ron Howard one?
What was
the Miners? Wasn't he in the
13 Lives?
Yeah.
Yes, the movie about the Thai cave rescue.
Yeah, exactly. The cave rescue. Yeah, I'm saying like he's had a really, really good year. And like to me, that's stretching as an actor. He's come a long way from the Daily Mail just commenting on how good his arms are every article. Like Daily Mail, I told you that they were obsessed with his arms for like 5 years. Okay, real quick hits. Prince Harry, what do you think? Spare has come out. Any quick thoughts?
I actually am in the middle of listening to the podcast Celebrity Memoir Book Club.
They read it in like a day and put out the podcast 2 days later.
They probably get like
advanced copies.
Early advanced copies. But I'm in the middle of listening to that, so I'm getting more of the granular details. Obviously, some of the stuff that's coming out about it is like hilarious.
He loves his wiener. He loves talking about his wiener.
Yeah, he loves talking about his, what's it called? Todger? Does he call it Todger?
Motalja. I'll put some face cream on Motalja.
His Todger. You know, I haven't read it yet. I'm going to. Both my sister, my grandma, and my mom, they're all in the middle of reading it. So I'm going to borrow one of their copies.
Oh my God, Sophie, please do a podcast with your mom and your grandma and you about the Spare book. That would be so funny. That would be so good.
That would be hilarious.
3 generations of Ross women.
But I think I have reached a point where I don't feel that bad anymore, because you are not, I know that you see yourselves as perpetual victims. You are not the biggest victim on the entire planet like you act like you are. And the one headline that really pissed me off was like, William and Kate told me to wear the Nazi costume. They said it'd be a riot.
I was like, and damn.
So basically nothing has ever been your fault in your entire life. And I really liked one tweet.
It's very Jen Shaw and Lisa Rinna.
Right. But I really liked one tweet that went viral that was like, the sooner we realize that the sooner we realize that Meghan and Harry aren't trying to dismantle a colonial racist like system. They're just mad that they didn't get to participate in it the way that they wanted to. They're not some radical, like, you know, I don't
No, I
know.
mean, I think this process has probably made them more radical because they're now having to remove themselves from it, but they're not wanting to go away. It's like we were talking about Carl and Lindsay earlier, and yeah, I'm comparing the two. It's like they still want to be on reality series and they could go live their nice, sober lives, but they
Right.
still want to be in the mix. And Harry and Meghan really want to still be in the mix. They don't want to go escape. They don't want to escape. They still want all of the accoutrement that comes with celebrity. They want to hang out with Tyler
Right.
Perry. They want to hang out with Oprah, be texted by Beyonce. It's
And
very
also, like,
attractive.
you live in a palatial estate in Santa Barbara, aka probably the most expensive part of the US to live in. If they were living, and I'm not, obviously, it would be difficult for Prince Harry to go from being a prince to living in, like, he's not going to live in some like apartment, like walk up apartment. But I mean, there's an in between a walk up apartment and a 10-bedroom Santa Barbara estate. It has to pay for itself somehow. So yeah, I think that they're going to be milking. I think it's at the point where they're just kind of like, the public wants to hear these stories, so let's keep making money off of it.
But it's like, what's next? Are they going to do a game show? Are they going to do Amazing
Right. It's
Race? Like
just
what?
it's not like lining up. Like, do you want to distance yourself or do you want to be a hanger on to this forever? And there was something that went viral also that I thought was really funny. And it was like you could see in the background that their entrance to their house was their what's it called? Their emblem, the Sussex
Oh,
Royal logo.
yeah,
There's a word for it. I can't
yeah, I
think of
know
the word for it.
I know exactly what you're talking about. But
You
yeah,
know what you guys know what I'm talking about though. So it's like you didn't want to give up your royal titles. You're still using the royal, like your little royal symbol.
but I got to tell
Like,
you, the most brutal line in that to me, and the most like catty, is the William's hair loss is astounding. Like that would hurt my feelings. Like him saying that his brother's hair
that
loss is
was so
astounding.
funny.
That would like crush me. If somebody like I live in fear of somebody writing that kind of mean shit. Like that is like a Reddit board come to life,
No,
you know?
it wasn't. The word wasn't astounding. It was alarming. It was
Oh,
alarming. Which is so much worse.
alarming is such a word worse that really we were all very worried. And by the way,
Yeah.
this dude has like hair you can see through on TV. Hair, like Prince Harry should not be talking about hair at all.
It's
Period.
so funny. I know. It's so funny. It's so
Quickly,
funny.
in memoriam, Shannon Bedore, John Jansen broke up with
I
Shannon
know.
Bedore, and he did it like 8 days after filming, which people were saying, well, that's very that's very nice of him. I'm like, no, it isn't. That's like him saving himself. That's him being a pussy and not wanting to do it on camera when, like that's him doing it after the
No.
cameras are off.
Okay, but Um, okay. To be fair, maybe we could argue that he actually was doing that to look out for her because that would have been her storyline, her getting dumped. And I think that actually, I probably, if I were in that situation, I'd be happy that he spared me from having to go through that on camera. So you could argue that also. But yeah, I'm really sad because she deserves to finally find
Shannon's very
happiness.
Shannon, but I love Shannon. And I hope, I mean, that, 3.5 years
Yeah.
with somebody is a very long time.
Yeah.
I mean, she really does just have a weird picker. And by the way, we made a meme last week with Shannon Bedore and Pete Davidson dating. And I got to tell you how alarming it is that so many people believed that. And they were like, this is a Photoshop. Look at the hands. And I'm like, no shit, it's a Photoshop. Are you
People on
kidding me?
Twitter are so scary. Wait, oh my God. Did you see that I like got canceled on Twitter for one of
No,
my
no.
Golden Globe?
What did you do now?
I tweeted,
You've
I
been
tweeted
canceled in the
that
last 2 weeks?
I loved, yeah, basically, I loved the menu, but I could
I
not
did
get
too.
past the fact that they were trying to pass Anya Taylor-Joy off as this like
As a burger eater.
obviously lower class. Like she's obviously, and I'm like, what's obvious about it? She has no buccal fat. She has cheekbones up to here. She has an eyebrow lift. She has like a chic, expensive looking slip dress on. So I don't get how it was obvious that she like didn't belong at this high-end restaurant, which if you haven't watched the movie, that's
She
what they
looked
built.
higher class than everybody in that restaurant.
Right, right. And that was just like a plot hole for me. And so I tweeted like, we're supposed to believe that she is from like a working class like Midwestern background, which correct, I'm
Oh, you
sorry,
got canceled for that?
she's not from the Midwest. She is actually from somewhere in Massachusetts, some small town in Massachusetts in the movie. And I was like, with that bone structure. And people on Twitter were like, oh my God, okay, Nazi, that's eugenics. You love phrenology. And I was like, I am literally from a middle class Midwestern background. I think I have okay bone structure. It was a joke. She obviously got buccal fat removal, you guys. And it's also a joke. Like people were saying that I was into eugenics for saying that her bone structure could correlate with her class. And people were calling me a Nazi. And I was
People
like,
have a lot of
you
time on their
definitely,
hands.
I was like, you definitely have the moral high ground when you're on Twitter calling a Jewish woman a Nazi for like a tweet that I thought was clearly a joke. Like, obviously, I know that you can have any bone structure when you come from any area of the United States or class background. Like, obviously, it
But
was
also
just like,
the menu is such an easy movie. It's like just it's a popcorn thriller.
yeah.
Like it's not any deeper than that. And like to have make people, but which by oh god, we didn't even that fuck nut Kanye got married again, and he's
Oh,
already
yeah.
done. He's already doing his little what's it called, Svengali thing where the girls cut her brown hair, dyed it platinum blonde, like so I'm sorry, man. Like Mazel Tov, I'm out. I still don't forgive you for any of the shit you said in
No,
December.
no. I
And
wish
but I'm
them
like.
the worst. I wish them the worst in their
Yeah.
new life.
Oh, that's what I talked about last week. Like those Kim North videos getting creepier and creepier by the day. Her dressing up North as Kanye is so
Very
fucking weird.
weird.
Okay.
I know.
Anyways, we're over time, you guys. Sophie's got to go watch a team that she loves, so we need to put good energy. I'm gonna wait to record the intro until after the game tonight.
Oh God. Oh God. Oh God.
No, because I'm just like now scared about the game. But go enjoy. Remember, you need to get drunk enough where you go to the bathroom on big moments because you said that was a good luck thing when you're not there watching.
You're right. And then in the bathroom, I'm going to be like, hooday!
Hooday! Wait, record yourself going hooday in the bathroom.
Hooday! Hooday!
Hooday!
Hooday! Nobody! That's how it goes.
Have a good week, everybody.
Okay, bye!